All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to
Hello.
YouTube. Ask Me Anything. The dynamic duo is here.
Are we live?
We are live,
We're
I
live.
believe.
There we go.
My name is Bradley. I'm joined by
Brock Johnson.
Brock Johnson's in the house. So let me see if I can get to a chat window here so we can make sure that everybody is on board. So guys, you should see don't do the chat on the bottom. There should be like a commenting. Why am I looking over here? The camera's over here. There should be a commenting place on the your right hand side that you should be able to see where you can enter a comment. But I believe you have to have like a Gmail account probably if you're going to comment on YouTube, right? Yeah, I don't think anybody can just go on there. Yeah, you got to sign in,
and then you got to leave a comment.
Yes,
That's
please.
What the comment box is for.
All right, so I'm trying to get to where I can see these comments. Let's go to YouTube. So guys, let us know a comment where you guys are calling from. If this is your first time watching us on a YouTube Ask Me Anything, and if you know who is Brock Johnson, let me know. Okay, this is a first quiz of the day. What genius product did Brock Johnson launch? Was it a couple years ago?
I don't know if it was genius.
It was genius. The marketing behind it and the strategy behind it was genius, and the execution behind it, I might say,
that was
just
hard work.
That was next level.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So what was that? Let's see who knows. While I try and find out where we can get these comments here.
I got another question too.
Okay, what's the other question?
So we went racing go-karts yesterday.
Guillermo,
Manny, and myself. Who won?
Yeah, who won?
Who do you guys think won?
Who first, second, and third? I don't even know who was first, second, and third. And who crashed? That's what we want to know too. Who crashed? All right, there we go. Now I think I finally found the video.
I crashed into Manny.
Oh, you already gave that part away then.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see. There we go. All right, now I finally found the video. Here's the comments. Finally, I got here. All right. We got Giovanni from Miami. We've got Gretchen from Utah. How's it going? Raphael, what's up? Vic, how's it going, Vic? All right, let's see if we have any guesses yet here. We got Michelle from Orlando, Ben from Los Angeles. We got Brock Lesnar here with us. Yes. Emil's got it. Emil, Eclipse glasses. Yuri, solar lenses. You've got it. All right. All right. Good job, guys. All right. So we are here actually today to talk about why do I still keep looking over here? Because I think I used to have my camera over here. I don't know. It's just we're creatures of habit, I guess, right? We're here to talk about something that even Brock does not know. You know, he knew we were going to announce something, and I just told him about 5 minutes ago that it's about Keyword Tracker, but he still has no idea.
I heard it's a cool tool.
Every tool we have is a cool tool. You could say that at any time, right? Of course, Brock knows about that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our new tool. Or it's not a new tool, the new function of the tool, Keyword Tracker. Some of you guys were trying to let the cat out of the bag in our Facebook group this morning. Shlomo, I'm talking about you. Had to hide your comment because you didn't do a spoiler alert. You know, my goodness, like, hey, and anybody who's watching Game of Thrones this weekend.
I went years without watching it, and then I'm only on season 4, so don't blow it in the comments.
All right, yeah, don't mention anything about Game of Thrones, especially this new episode, because nobody likes spoiler alerts. All right, so let me see if I can share a screen here. We are going to go. All right, so everybody should be able to see my screen now. Excellent. Let me just make sure it's here. All right, we are going to go to Keyword Tracker, and this is, by the way, this is live. As far as any of you guys in your accounts, you guys should all be able to see this. All right. So now what we have here is a little bit different format, right? The first thing that we have here, which is pretty cool, is we have this high level graph, Brock. So I'm presenting this to you guys as if I'm presenting to everybody because Brock has not seen this before. So one cool thing is we cannot zoom in. We don't have a fancy setup. You see, when we did the AMA at Brock's place, we were able to have that Microsoft Surface, and you could like zoom in. And this I don't even have a touchscreen here.
Oh no!
You need to help us level up. We have to level up. Hey, you got Manny's here. Manny's here in the office. Help him out. Help him out. Say Bradley didn't budget for this, but we really need
Manny. I just need your credit card for a minute.
There we go.
I'll help you out. It'll pay off.
It'll pay off. It'll pay off. All right. So first thing. Here's my zoom in. I'm gonna like pull the monitor closer to that. That's our old school zoom in.
Can't you control like zoom and then like it makes it bigger?
Can we?
Yeah, hit control and then zoom in.
What?
Like with the mouse.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Now
we can do a little bit better, but then I have to zoom out because we might lose some columns if I do it like this too much. All right.
Okay.
So but yeah, this is good for this part right here. The first thing here, whoops, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. Here's a phone case. It tells us how many keywords we have that are showing up in the top 10. All right. So like however many keywords I'm tracking here. Well, 3 of them, actually, there are only 3 track keywords here. 3 of them are in the top 10. 3 of them are in the top 50. And of those top 10, what is the total search volume of it? So it's like, hey, I'm in the top 10 on a total number of 500 searches a month.
Oh,
nothing that great. Nothing that great in this case, but hey, that's a good indicator. It's like, okay, well, obviously I'm not getting many sales, and if my top 10 keywords is only getting searched like 10 times a day. But imagine if this number was like, 5,000. Well, I better be getting tons of,
or over 9,000,
or over 9,000, or over 100,000. Oh my goodness, because so there are some keywords by itself that have 100,000 keyword searches. Remember, this is adding it up. Okay. Also the top 50 as well. All right. So now, what else do we have? Let me see if there's anything new in here. How do I zoom out now? Oh, this is going to be fun. You see what happens when you zoom in too much. Now I lost my graph. So I want to get my graph here. All right. We have got sponsored position. All right. This is something new. All right. So people were telling us, hey, you guys are checking our organic rank. Why don't you let us know why you're checking our organic rank? If we're showing up in a sponsored ad, where are we showing up? Are we showing up on the 50th sponsored ad? So if they're showing up on the 50th sponsored ad, that's probably like, I don't know, what, page 5, 6?
Well, I think there's 20 per page. So
sponsored?
No, just 20 products per page.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
If you're the 50th sponsored ad that comes up, see, there's usually like 2 or 3 at the top, right? And then like maybe 2 or 3 at the bottom or something. And then the next page might be similar. So if you're like position 50, that's like, it's got to be like at least page 10 or so, I would think.
If you're position 50 on sponsored,
you
might as well not even be running ads.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, and you guys don't worry about it. It's not like they're going to pay for it because they're not getting clicks, but still, that's a good indicator. It's like, like Brock says, you might as well not even be running that ad because nobody's going to see it. So what we're doing now is we are actually going to go ahead and tell you, hey, at the time that we noticed you at, for example, right here, position 6, you're over 96. All right. It says no data for this specified time frame. What does that mean? Because look, it's over 96. Because I don't even know why we'd go up to 96, but some people are curious. Hey, I do want to know if I'm on position or page 7, position 96 for sponsored ads. Okay,
maybe in clothing.
All right, yeah, in clothing.
Like really picky market, you could get a sale of that.
But you know what? One new thing. I don't know if you've noticed, Brock. The Amazon grids lately are getting out of control. There's like 50 or 60 products sometimes now on page 1 for like almost all the searches I do, and like 12 sponsored ads. And I think that's why Amazon is doing it, because they're opening up the grids. Instead of just 20, it's 5 across and like 10 down or 11 down. And so now, like at the top, they're putting like 5 sponsored ads, and in the middle, they're putting like another 4, and then at the bottom more. So I just think, Amazon's probably going to play this as, oh, hey, we want to show more options, to the customers, but really it's like they're trying to get more sponsored ads on that first. So, hey, actually, the 50th sponsored ad now might be only page 3 or something. So who knows? All right. So anyways, we are checking that. So now the number one thing though that I like, and I have this here on this Maple Valley product, is look at this. You know what these are? What do you think?
Those are ASINs.
What kind of what random? I'm putting, what do you think I put here?
I think that's probably your most relevant competitors.
Right you all, my friend. Right you all. We're on the same page. These I put.
But what does it do?
But wait, there's more. All right. So check it out. Now you can track your top competitors. I was about to say in real time because it just seems natural. You should say in real time, but it's not real time. It could be almost real time because remember, Brock knows what happens when I turn on this boost here. How often is that checking now? My rank. Remember, like the default. Exactly the default is every day, every 24 hours, right? I mean, but that's a default, which actually is even better than most.
Is it every 10 minutes? No.
Every hour, 24 times a day. All right. So 24 times a day, this is now being tracked for this. So now watch this. Look what happens here, guys. For example, maple syrup grade B. Let's take a look here. All right. Now I can see all of my competitors. Like here's my product. If this was my product, I am not Maple Valley.
I would want maple syrup grade A.
You're grade A. Yeah. Like who wants to grade? Like I'm going to go to that restaurant. Well, that restaurant is grade B, you know, like, hey, that looks good. Appetizing. All right. So as you can see here, now I can see, oh shoot, you know, yeah, we're all on page 1, but my product is here on, you know, hovering around 17, 20, 22, but my competitors who are getting more sales than me, oh shoot, you know, they're here. Now this is, you know, not something, this concept is not new. You know, we've had this in Cerebro.
Yeah, but it's been kind of a pain to like, you had to jerry rig it yourself.
Yeah, now before. Yeah, now you have to jerry rig it yourself.
I like this.
And so now this, you know, Cerebro sometimes is checking. It could be checking every day. Some keywords it checked every day. Some keywords every 7 days. But some keywords, you know, that maybe weren't that hot. You know, for most people, we were only checking, you know, once every, you know, 2-3 weeks or something. It wasn't in real time or even close to it. But now, once you do that initial search in Cerebro, like that's important. You still, everybody needs to start in Cerebro and do that compare ASINs to see what keywords could be bringing your competitors money. But once you get that, and now you launch your product, well, you can't, I mean, that's not what Cerebro is for. It's not for continuous tracking. It's just for like your initial, right? But now you take that information and now you see, okay, I started from the bottom, you know, I'm launching a new product and here's all my competitors at the top. Now I got to see how I'm going to bridge that gap. Make sense?
Yeah, sorry. I was refraining from making a joke there.
Oh,
that's why I was
started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, started from the bottom now.
Yeah, started from the bottom. Now we're here. All right.
I haven't seen these tools either, by the way. So this is my first time seeing it.
Yep. The camera's off because we're not doing screen, or we're not doing. So we can't see your organic reaction here. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah,
you can do it on Facebook.
I like this.
This orange line is like the average. So it's taking the average of everybody, your competitors and you. So like kind of like a trend line, I guess you can say, like if you wanted to do that here. Now notice here, I turned on boost. So that's why it's so many data points right here. Here it's just checking once a day, but I can zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in here. This sometimes is interesting. So I can just click and drag. That's new. You haven't seen that yet. Watch this. I just unclick. You're a big UI guy, so you can appreciate that. I'm sure
this is improvement on UI. I appreciate it.
And so this is actually cool because we call, I don't know if you had a word for this, if you've been tracking, but we call it the ASS, the Amazon Search Shuffle, where sometimes all of a sudden, Brock likes that. All right, where you know, things will be steady, but then all of a sudden people will see something like a Richter scale. Now this one is not too heavy. It's only going up and down like 2, 3, 4 spaces. But what happens to a lot of people's products, it'll be like on page 1 hour. And then in another hour, it's not really necessarily another hour, but we're always checking different browsing scenarios, like different browsers or different, you know, logged in, logged off, incognito, mobile, whatever. But then in another browsing scenario that we check an hour later, it's like position 90 and then going up and down, right? And so like here, we have that visibility. Like if you don't have boost, if your keyword tracker is not able to check once a day, you might not even know this is happening to your listing because it's only checking once a day. Oh, it seems pretty steady, right? But if you have boost, you can see and look, like it was pretty steady for what, about 8-9 hours here. And then now look, all of a sudden everybody's going up and down a couple here. Now this is not a big deal because this is still like this guy's only going from like position 5 to 10 or whatever and back. But imagine if this was happening, and I might have an example of that here. I'm not sure. Imagine if this was happening for like something that was, you know, going from page 1 to page 10. I mean, if half the day your browsing sessions for your customers you're on page 10, well, you just lost half your sales.
Yeah.
You know, right there. So you have this visibility here. Now, how you rank compared to your competitors, which guys is huge. And also, let's see, like you can also see if they're running, who all is running sponsored ads on that. All right. So let's see if this one, how many people are running sponsored ads. There we go. Oops, I double clicked it. Why am I double clicking? Come on. I need my touchscreen back here. That was so convenient.
Dude, it's a game changer.
I got to wait for this page to load.
That's grade A. You see that one?
Where's the grade A?
That one has grade A in the title.
Where?
Look up there. See, this is grade A.
Oh, what? But they're ranking for grade B. So it's like
grade B stuff and grade A maple syrup.
All right, let me look for another product because I might have to refresh this screen because my computer is tripping right now. But let me see here. Where are some other ones? Oh, one cool thing. Let's see. This is vitamin C serum, guys. All right, vitamin C serum. Okay, as you can see, I am not tracking any competitors. Now, let me see. When did I start tracking this product? I started tracking it like on the 6th, April 6th. All right. I started tracking this on April 6th. Today is April 11th. Now watch what I'm going to do right here. Let's look up some top vitamin C serums. All right. Let's go ahead and grab this one. This guy's got a bestseller badge. All right, I'll grab him, and I'm going to go ahead and add him. By the way, this is, guys, this is the way you add competitors. You just add it right here. You can add it to 5. Now it's saved. All right. Okay, so now let me see if this is going to work. If not, they might be working on it. My graph is not working. I might have to refresh my screen, guys. My graph is not working, or else everybody just crashed this because everybody's trying to use this. But all right, so what cool thing is when you start tracking keywords normally in Keyword Tracker, you just start getting the visibility from that day, right? But let's say I've been tracking vitamin C serum for like a year. Well, right in this exact instant that I added this, now I'm going to be able to see their whole history from that year.
Oh,
it's not from now.
You're already collecting
exactly. We've already got that data right here. We're just not showing it because you didn't tell us that or I didn't tell Helium 10 I wanted to show it. So that's another cool thing. I'm going to refresh my screen here because my graphs is not working. Let's refresh. Maybe I need to zoom out. How do I do this? Control,
and then
zoom out. 100%. Okay, there we go. Let's see if this is going to work. There we go. I just need to refresh my screen. All right. And look, there we go. Now I have visibility on everything here. You see this black one? That is my competitor that I just added. So you can see, I mean, I just added this, but I'm looking at his rank as of like 5 days ago, because that was when I started. So I can see here, I'm just see, this is another good example. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about, the search shuffle. Amazon is moving this product, my product, if this was my product, between 100 and 200 nonstop. Look at that. You see up and down, but look at my competitor. My competitor is just fine. So that's an interesting metric that now you guys are going to be able to see. But this competitor who's on like page 1, the bestseller, he's pretty steady. All right. So he's right here every day. He's at position 3, position 2. But me, I'm jumping up and down all over the rankings here. Again, I have that visibility. I just added this right here. Let me see if anybody's running sponsored ads. There we go. All right. So look at my competitor. My competitor is the first sponsored ad that's coming up a lot of times. Wow. We're detecting him. All right. But look at my product. I'm like the 100th, the 92nd. Here, I'm not even having any sponsored ads. I haven't been detected at all. So here's another way that I can see my performance based on what I'm doing with the sponsored ads. So can you think of some use cases, for this new visibility? Because I don't think anybody has really come out with this kind of near real-time visibility here. So how would you use this for your?
Yeah, so this would be helpful because perhaps you're tracking your competitors.
Get off the screen share here.
You could be tracking your competitors' ad rank, but if you're only getting one data point a day, then it's signal versus noise. Some days, like you'll see random blips, and maybe but if you could see, hey, they're consistently at the top. Yeah, it's okay. This is a valuable keyword to them.
So obviously, how do you stay consistently on the top? They're obviously doing what then? Probably
spending a lot, and they are converting well.
Exactly. So like you yourself, what kind of keywords did you start spending a lot? Like what triggered you to say, hey, I'm gonna keep bidding aggressively on this?
Just when you see the total amount of impressions that you're getting and you convert. If there's a lot of volume and
so the only way that you're increasing your spend or really going to concentrate on a keyword is if you're converting. So that gives us that visibility. We don't have visibility. Like we don't know, hey, I mean, yes, we know that if they're organically on page 1, well, obviously, they might be converting. But we just have that added thing. Maybe they're not on page 1 and they're just a newer product. But if we see they're bidding aggressively, for like 2 weeks, I mean, you're not going to throw money away if you're not converting.
Yeah,
like on sponsored ads.
So you're gathering historical. So perhaps if you are tracking the keywords, now when you see new competitors come in, you could see where they were ranking for ads. You kind of just reverse engineer their product. So what was their launch strategy like for PPC? Very nice. If you look at all the keywords of the market, you could actually reverse engineer and see what their campaigns were and what bid changes they did. And literally, I mean, it would take some time, but you could reverse engineer their entire advertising strategy. Yeah, I mean,
if they were using PPC in order to increase their organic ranking, you'd be able to see, and you even have that history. Like maybe their PPC didn't work. Like you look at the historical data. If they're always on the first like 10 positions or in sponsor ads, but then all of a sudden they drop off completely. Well, it's like, okay, that keyword probably didn't work out for them. That's why they maybe deleted it or they're not doing it at all. Hey, if my product's the exact same as that guy or my listing is, that's probably not something then that I, they went and did that work for me. Now I can see.
Yeah, because if they're always ranking at the top, that means they're just bidding the most. And if they can't rank, if they're not ranking, so you lay it over. What were they doing with ads, and then what were they doing organically? And if they're always at the top, but they're not getting up there, it's why aren't they getting up there? Might not be a good keyword for your market.
Absolutely. So that's a good point too. So there's tons of features. We just launched this like 3 hours ago, so it's been live for 3 hours. Guys, I forgot to put the videos up. I recorded videos on this over the weekend. I'll get those up so that you guys can use it, but it's not finished. We've got more stuff coming. Like we don't just like launch something and then just, oh, okay, guys, have at it. We're constantly improving. By the way, guys, just one quick announcement. If you guys notice now in profits, right? In profits, you can now see your revenue that's coming from PPC. All right, so that's just an example. We launched profits a while back. That was months ago. We're still continually updating it. That launch or that update just got made yesterday. So whatever you guys would like to see now that, this just opens up a whole new set of possibilities here for keyword tracking. So if there's like a filter that you guys want to see that we don't have now, or some column or some kind of other data point, let us know. Support at helium10.com. And we're going to be able to, I'm sure we'll be able to, help you out with that. So let us know. And that being said, let's get down to my partner in crime here. He's Batman. I'm Robin. So let us know about last night's
I'm Batman.
Batmobile go-karting. So who did it? Who ended up winning?
Manny won.
Manny's a professional race car driver.
But
so
he kind of lost because he was taking a turn around a corner and he was going and he was doing it too slow. And I think I was going about 75% full speed and just cracked him.
Oh.
And he got some whiplash.
Oh,
yeah. I felt kind of bad about that. But
oh my goodness. All right. Well,
he won, but he lost.
He won, but he lost. All right. So who got second?
I did.
Okay.
I beat Guy.
Beat Guy.
I beat Guy every time.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so when you got here yesterday, this is California, for those of you who don't know our office, it was like 75, 80 degrees. Now, what is happening back home where you're from right now?
I think we have 18 inches of snow. It's pretty crazy.
I
left right when the snowstorm came, though. So
you gotta get a place out here, for those winter months. Like when I went to your place, I think that might have been the coldest I've ever been. And it was like -18 or something crazy like that.
My truck almost didn't start in the morning.
Yeah, that was crazy. All right.
But if I move out here, then I have to get used to all the people that wear AirPods. The California life.
So yeah, we were talking about how different, California is, the lifestyle is. So right when we were pulling into the office, describe what you saw that was like such epitome of Southern California.
There was this guy, maybe 45 years old, just wearing some cool sunglasses. But what are those board things where basically you have a board and then a giant wheel?
Yeah.
And you just stand on that, and then he's wearing AirPods and just
talking on the phone. I was like, yep, we're in California.
Yeah.
All right. So now what's in store for you, Brock, over the next year? What you got going on with
you? Lots of good stuff. Be launching an office brand. That'll be exciting.
Office brand.
Yeah.
Wow, big pivot from solar eclipse glasses, right?
Yep. And then trying to figure out South America fulfillment.
South American fulfillment.
Because there's eclipses down there.
All right. Well, if anybody knows,
if anybody knows how to do fulfillment and e-com down in the Argentina, Chile area, hit me up.
All right. Hit him up. How can people find you?
Brock Johnson. Put it into Google. Put it into YouTube. Put it into I don't use Facebook anymore, so don't do it there. You could look up Bradley there. Right? Yeah, just look up my name, Brock Johnson.
All right.
Check out YouTube. Yeah.
What the kind of phenomenon that the solar eclipse glasses, were for you. That's not a common thing. That's not easily replicatable. Like, hey, I'm going to make $6 million in 3 months on some brand new trend or the new fidget spinner or something. But what's some advice you can give our listeners as far as on a smaller scale, which is totally fine. We don't need not everybody needs to make $6 million, or $3 million, or heck, there'd be tons of people who would love to make $6,000, $60,000, like, what is some advice you can give on the mentality or things to look for? Like, how did you discover? Did you have an idea about how big it was, and then what went into like even figuring out that, hey, this is something that's going to be unique and that I can make a killing on? Like, what help us to be able to get on your level.
This one was actually pretty easy because, but nobody did it. Like nobody had this type of thinking. This one was relatively easy because I was able to look at the total path of the eclipse. So I knew what my target market size was. And then I just looked at all of the competition and it was like, okay, I don't even know where to start.
What in the first place? No, what in the, like, how in the first place did you just discover that this was going to be a big need? Like, I mean, are you a, what do you call it? Astronomy buff or something, like, or like how did was it luck or what?
I got an email from a 1-sentence email from some supplier in China who said it was going to be hot.
Okay.
No, that was how I found out about the opportunity. But
then that's triggered you to like, okay, well, let me see what this guy's talking about. Oh shoot, there's an eclipse. Because I guess not all eclipses, like there's an eclipse later on, but it might be only visible in Antarctica or something like that. So this was an eclipse that was going to be visible throughout the US.
Yeah. So basically, I guess the meta thing of it is if you know how large your target market is, then now you can look at the total number of competitors and you can kind of build what are all the people in this market. If you go and look and actually think about it, there's obviously different buyer profiles. So what I did was, okay, there is going to be X many people in this path. It's obviously going to be viral on social media. You need it to look at the sun. And so I was not the first. There was many people there before me, but I just looked at all of the parts of the market and then said, hey, which parts are unserved? And then had the best products in for those parts of the market. So awesome. That's
now you said, there was other competitors and things, but was differentiation important for you at all? Or was it just about your strategy? Like, did you like look what they were doing and say, hey, I need to do this a little bit better? Or were you, was it mainly about how you position yourself?
Yeah. So one was I obviously had the best quality. A lot of people, there's actually a whole news story about all of the bad glasses that weren't certified from China. So I had the best product, but there was other people with similar products.
Oh, because yours was made in USA.
Yeah, mine was made in the USA, and other ones made in China and weren't certified. And then those people got really screwed. Anyways, it was differentiation and grabbing enough real estate. So I didn't just have. So some people think I just had one listing that made $6 million in 6 months. It's not how it went. I strategically looked at the entire market and just served all the unserved parts of the market and grabbed as much real estate. I was not the top, but I did not have the top selling listing. I just had the most, and I grabbed all those different parts of the market. So there are people. It's obviously great to be number one in the market.
Yeah,
but the way you dominate an industry is you're everywhere. So you could either be number one and now you're one out of, how many they're going to choose, or you could be number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so, okay. Yeah.
So you launch like multiple.
Hey, I have like 44 listings.
44 listings. So then now were these all different? I mean, like what was the differentiation
all
between?
Different designs, different quantities, different. I also
I didn't even know that about this.
I also had made the goggles. Nobody had done that. And then, so that was like a completely different type of, you could use these paper glasses, but then I built like the nice goggles, the steampunk goggles. And then I also had telescope filters so that you could use.
You have this thing. Do you have those with you here?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's perfect. If you guys didn't notice, you guys seen the images in our office. We got a steampunk vibe going here at our office. If you guys saw the picture of our new mural and some of our furniture and stuff. So he actually he's going to bust it out here. Some of those glasses. So that's an interesting point. And then so like, maybe he didn't have the number one top selling SKU. That one guy was selling like maybe 2,000 units a day, but then he had 20 different products that were selling 400 a day each. Well, he still overall was the one who was dominating the market overall. So that's something for you guys to think about it. If you can get in a niche where there's not that much competition, even if there are some really top selling ones, well, get positions 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the first page. And to do that, you got to have separate listings. Like you can't have a variation. Usually like 99% of the time, you can only, Amazon policy is they can only rank. I know you have it there because you let me try it on for the first time yesterday. Don't tell me you lost it.
I don't know where they went, man.
All right. Anyways, They look really cool. Think steampunk glasses, and I'd never worn solar eclipse glasses before, so it was crazy. I put it on. It's like literally, I could be looking at this light here, and it's like I'm just in a dark room. So
yeah, that was the key takeaway though, is where are the unserved parts of the market, and then you go and serve those. And now you don't need to be the best necessarily.
Okay. We're not on the AM/PM podcast here. We're going to confuse people. We got to put helium 10. There we go.
There we go. All right, we're good. What was I saying?
Serving different parts of the market.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not a winner take all market.
Did you have like some that were like geared towards women as opposed to men?
Yeah. I had ones that were geared towards women, ones that were geared towards children, schools. I even had wholesale offers. So, if you're buying for a big party, you're not just going to buy a larger amount than couples. So varying in the quantity and the design, and then also the different form factors, I was able to create an entire brand out of a couple core technologies. Cool. I mean, there was film. Yeah. There's essentially two types that you could do it with, and I just made that into all sorts of different designs and form factors.
That's something that I hope everybody, paying attention to, because not enough people are talking about that. That's important. Some people are just about, hey, I want one home run product. I want to get to page one, position one, and dominate the market. But the odds of doing that are not that great, and it's not a good strategy. It's not a good strategy. This is a good strategy, and it's something that's definitely feasible. So, guys, I'm going to open up to, we don't have time to go over all the 100,000 questions I see already here, but any questions about Helium 10, any questions about Amazon in general for either Brock or myself, we're going to go over a few of them here. We're going to also have Brock on a future episode of the Serious Sellers podcast. We're actually going to record that today. So we're going to get more of that story about the solar eclipse glasses and more of that strategy on that. So make sure, guys, to subscribe to the Serious Sellers podcast and look out for Brock's episode.
If you want to be a serious seller,
or if you want to be a serious seller, you could be a joking serious seller. Like you can have a sense of humor, right? But when it comes to selling, you got to have some serious strategies, and that's what we talk about there. All right, let's talk about. We got Quebec in the house. Terry says, "Spoiler alert: winter is coming for Game of Thrones." All right, okay. Let's see. Dara says, "Hello from Austria. What's up?" What other questions here? Sherry says, I missed the first 10 minutes of this webinar. So this video here, guys, if you're just joining us now, don't worry. It's going to live forever on YouTube. So wherever you're watching it now, after the broadcast, just refresh that page. You'll be able to rewind and watch it from the beginning here. All right. Paul says, how do we sort by organic rank? We'll be able to add that functionality if people want that one back. For Ash and Paul, thank you for that. Let's see. David says, why is MWS access to our Seller Central account required? Now, this is to help with avoiding, abuse of the tool. We wanted to add that right there. And,
you can't do the profit tool without.
Yeah, but no, I think he was talking about specifically a keyword tracker. Most everybody already has it connected. Like Brock said, a lot of our tools you haven't. How would we know the profits or the alerts and stuff like that?
The sales to show you your profits.
Yeah, but now you're still able to add any competitor product in there to keyword tracker. Like these competitors here, these have nothing to do with this account. This account is that Forest Heel, but obviously I was putting in random brands there, so you can still track anybody. But just the initial product does need to be you. We gotta curtail some abuse that was going on. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? I can't put the questions on live on the screen like we can on Facebook. That's kind of cool.
It's okay. You have a beautiful voice. You can just say them.
All right. Let's see here. We got Parrot. He said that's the one cool thing about YouTube too. Like on Facebook, it's everybody's name, right? But here on YouTube, it's like their YouTube account is how it is. And so like we'll get some random names. Like here, Parrot Essentials has a question here. Or maybe that's their name. If that's your name, I'm sorry. I emailed you back. I'm lost on the best way of what it is to use it. Do you have a course or manual of how it all works? If you're talking about Helium 10 in general, yeah, but every tool, guys, very important. Every single tool in Helium 10, we have a whole pro training section in our website, too, even separate than our website. Anybody can go to it, even if you're not a Helium 10 user. You go to helium10.com/pro training. We've got all kinds of videos there. We're actually making a lot of those in text form. A lot of people are more text as opposed to visual. You know, nothing wrong with that. So we're going to make sure you guys are taken care of. But if you're inside of a tool right there, you don't want to have to go outside of the website. Just click the learn button that's on the top. We actually moved it. It was all the way in the top right. And Brock would complain about that. I can't see the learn. So we moved it a little bit towards a little bit more visible. So yeah, make sure there every single tool that you're in, there's a different learn button. Josh says, Brock is in the house. You beauty.
Why, thank you.
Shill Juice says, beautiful Minnesota. I love it there. I will be there in the summer with the family.
It is beautiful in the summer.
Yes.
Just got to get through the winters.
I mean, technically, it's beautiful in the winters. Like a lot of people think, you know, a nice snowy, you know, thing is beautiful too. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Ooh, that's a good question. Rebecca says, will the black box research tool ever be compatible for Kindle book research? I don't think we've gotten requests for that. So like, you know, there's a lot of authors out there, you know, who might want to, you know, look for niches of where they should make a book or so. Yeah. If you guys are out there, you authors, send that to support@helium10.com and ask for that visibility. Good question. You ever publish any books?
No, I've thought about it, but a book's a lot. It's a big undertaking. I could probably reach more people with one video than a book.
Shlomo says, keyword tracker question. When adding competitors, do we add parent or child? Personally, I'm always adding the child because I want an apples to apples comparison. So even though we have the ability to track the parent item and see, hey, which ones of the children are ranking, me personally, like let's say I had red, blue, and green. Well, I'm going to compare my blue with my competitor's blue, my green to my competitor's green. So Shlomo, in answer to your question, I personally would track the child item. Would that be maybe your strategy, or do you see a better to track a parent?
I don't even know how it would work with the parent.
Well, I think
I would need to see how it works with
the
tool.
so I think in the tool,
does a parent technically even rank?
It's not really the parent ranking, but what it does, like here, what it'll do is it'll say vitamin C serum, and then it'll say which child item is the one that has the rank.
Yeah.
But it could be anything. But then like if I'm trying, I can only compare it to my competitors' exact ones. So it's like you almost have to choose the child item. So again, I would choose both child for my item and child for my competitor's item.
Yeah, that's what I would do too.
Yeah. All right. Brock, you had 40 plus listings. Were they all one brand? Two brands.
Yeah. So I did some wholesale and then my own brand.
Cool. So for the Eclipse classes, was it all on two brands?
Yeah,
two. Okay.
Well, because it was wholesale.
Yeah.
So it was not my brand for some of it.
But the stuff that you produce yourself was all your brand.
Yeah, that was all one brand.
All right, cool. Ash says, Brock and Bradley, do you... That has a nice ring to it. We get the Brock and Bradley show. Hey, there we go. Do you recommend creating several listings for a product that can appeal to different markets versus putting them under one listing as variations? Excellent question, Ash.
Well, you can only rank one listing. So if you have them as a parent-child relationship, you can only rank one of those for the keyword. Mm-hmm. Now, there are scenarios where you would want both. So if you have, for example, a larger quantity that will never be able to rank at the top just because of the economics, you might add that as a variation, because now you have the ability. It's never going to be a big seller, but now your one that is a smaller quantity is going to be ranking up there, and then they might say, oh, hey, I actually want more quantity. So you can upsell that by having that relationship. But if they're completely different or similar, they're both like, hey, these are both home runs that I think could get up there or be in the middle, I would not put those both on the same listing, because basically once you get a click, there's actually some studies that show the more choices that somebody has, the less likely they are to buy, is one thing. And then the other one is you're just not going to be ranking. Like, I'd rather have 2 at-bats than 1, because the whole thing is to get people to click on your listing, and then that's when they're going to buy.
Good points. I pretty much agree. One thing interesting, I was just thinking for the podcast today, I wanted to like go over one of your modules from your course, your Amazon course, which we'll talk about a little bit later, about the ROI, because I think that's a big thing that many sellers are not. I love how you show graphically how just by changing the ROI, what kind of difference it can have on the bottom line. If you had a whiteboard in here, would you be able to like?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I just wanted to explain this other one, so I can mathematically see why what I just said makes sense. Because let's say you have a 1% click-through rate on your listing. Now, if you have 2 listings for the same keyword, you now have assuming they're same click-through rate, you now have a 2% click-through rate when people are looking up that keyword. And if you have a 20% conversion rate, so basically you would need to get 40% conversion rate by having 2 variations to get the same amount of sales as if you had 2 listings and they both converted at 20%. Now, if you take this and say 3, so if you have 3 variations, you would now need to get a 60% conversion rate to be the equivalent of having those 3 variations as separate listings. And then after 5, it technically would be just a poor choice in general.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody's in the office watching this, guys, if you could take the spiff board, completely erase it where it's not visible, and then bring it here, please, with an eraser and a couple pens. It's our little whiteboard. Ooh. So Brock is like, you can't tell, but he's pulling his long hair out right now because he loves being able to like visually talk about things. And he has this cool computer at home where he can just like start drawing things on the screen, and he's going crazy internally. I can feel the disturbance in the force here. So I want him to show you a little tidbit from his course about ROI, because that's something that I've tried to talk about a little bit, but still people are just like, they get so focused on, sales numbers, or even, profit's important, but it doesn't tell the whole story. And the way that you present it is really cool. So if anybody in the office can bring me that whiteboard, as if you're able to erase it, please bring it here. In the meantime, let's go over some more questions here. Let's see. Pablo says, are there any ways to sift out or discourage someone who might later leave a negative review because the price is on the high premium side from buying in the first place? That's I don't think I've ever heard that question before, but it's interesting. That's a good question.
You gotta accurately portray your product. If there is an issue, you say it. Okay? This does not work with the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Do not buy this cord for the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Put it on an image. Non-compatible. Make it very clear of, okay, why are people leaving negative reviews? Now you need to address that. And, okay, will you lose some sales? Yeah, but that's better than getting a sale that's a negative review long term. So your star rating becomes much more important than the total number of reviews that you get. And when you start to convert worse, so basically when you go from 4.5 stars to 4, you can almost see a 50% decrease in sales. Some people have seen that. And then when you go from having the 4 to 3.5, it just kills you. So you'll actually make more sales by getting less sales and keeping your star rating higher, because when that star rating goes over time, that's when a product dies.
Yeah. And then also at the same time, Pablo seems to be specifically talking about the price being high, like people complaining about the price. Well, like what Brock was saying, it's about your customer expectations. Are you marketing this as a super premium, but then setting the expectations really high, but then your product really doesn't deliver? Well, you're asking for a negative review. I mean, if your price is higher than everybody else and you're saying that it's this much better than everybody else, but it really is the same, yeah, you're probably going to get a negative review. But if you are marketing it as maybe a premium, but it's genuinely has some cool functionality, like the Eclipse glasses, your steampunk glasses. What is that? Aluminum or the frame?
Oh, the frame is that's just ABS.
ABS, and everybody else is cardboard. Well, and there's a reason why that costs 5 times as much, and people are not going to complain about it because it's like, oh wow, they can actually see. But if it was just like thickened cardboard, but you were still charging 5 times as much, yeah, people are going to complain about the price.
Yeah, and there was actually an issue where there was light you could kind of see light on the side, just because it wouldn't fit everybody perfectly. So I made that extremely clear in the instructions and on the listing that was, I just made it clear. Hey, yeah, there's still a little bit, and then that combated the negative reviews.
Absolutely. All right.
Own it. You basically, what is it? I think Barack Obama He came out with a book before he became president. Said all the things he did bad, like, you know, his whole childhood, and it's like, oh yeah, I did some blow in high school, and you know, it would have been a giant news story if it came out, but he just owned it, and then it was never a news story. Kind of an odd example, but you want to be the one to tell them and not them to be surprised.
Either way,
you never want to gotcha.
Yeah. Giovanni says, would you say a product with 1.7 million a month in sales and only 2,000 search results is a good market to enter? Search results, 2,000. Let me know, Giovanni, what do you mean by 2,000 search results?
Yeah, I see this happen with a lot of people. For maybe it is valuable, but for me, it's irrelevant how many search results there are.
I don't know, but what do you think he's talking about? Search results of what?
He's saying that when you go to Amazon, you type in this keyword, that it says 2,000 products.
Oh, okay, but
that's what I think he's saying.
If that's what you're saying, his sales are not coming from one keyword, and he's probably ranking for 200 keywords. Run Cerebro on him, and you'll see. I guarantee you he's ranking on page 1 for probably at least, you know, if he's making 1.7 million a month in sales, at least 200 plus keywords he's probably ranking on page 1 for that are high volume. I mean, he's probably ranking on page 1 for like 1,000 keywords, but ones that have at least, you know, 300 search volume estimated a month, I guarantee you his sales are not coming from just one keyword. Esme says, you guys should do lives in Spanish. Español. ¿Hablas español, Brock?
Un poco.
Un poco. All right. We might do that. By the way, Esme, we have learn videos. I'm doing this test this month. So check out Refund Genie keyword tracker. I did this whole presentation in also Spanish, but it's not up there yet. So click the learn video. Let me know what you think of my broken Spanish. Meantime, Brock, would you be able to do a quick mini ROI course here for the...
Here, I got to draw it out first. So
yeah, draw. Go ahead and draw it out while I do these questions here. Irina says, are you going to add attachments to follow-up? Yes, I believe that's in the works, Irina. Absolutely. Paul says, sort by organic rank is working now. Okay, so, I mean, either it was always working or just literally while we were on live.
Yeah, boy, let me fix it. Okay.
that You got the accent there too.
He was giving me a hard time yesterday.
Oh yeah, it is. Are you serious? Like,
did he really fix it?
Yeah, like, look, you can sort it.
What a champion.
was that Boyan who's actually watching here? All right, that's pretty hilarious. Or maybe it was just meant to be just a coincidence here. Irina is very adamant about this because she put this all in caps. Are you planning to add 3D buttons for follow-ups instead of just links? 3D buttons instead of... Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't think anybody has asked for that. She's actually, our follow-up emails like in it. Have you done follow-up emails for any of your customers?
Yeah, but I've never used buttons. I didn't know.
Like, well, I don't think you're supposed to even be linking outside of Amazon anyways.
Yeah, well, maybe you could technically if you have it the images hosted on AWS servers. That's technically... Yeah, I mean, you can even have a video.
I'm curious. So what are you wanting to link to, Irina? I mean, obviously, I don't need the specifics, but like, are you wanting?
What she's saying is that you have a higher click-through rate from a button versus a link or just a word that has an...
No, but she's actually talking about the follow-up for Amazon orders. And so, part of the TOS is you're not supposed to be redirecting people when you're using the Amazon buyer seller message system. You're not supposed to redirect people outside of Amazon.
What's the question again?
So she says, are you planning to add 3D buttons for follow-up? So the follow-up, she's talking about our tool follow-up, the automate email automation. But unless something has changed, I thought you're not supposed to direct people out.
I think she's saying is it's still a link to leave a review for Amazon, but I want a button instead of...
Oh, okay, the link to the review. Okay, yeah, the link through the review. Okay, now I got you. So Irina, for that, if that's what you mean, please send that to support@helium10.com. And if enough people are asking for that, that's absolutely something we can put. Sherry says, do you recommend to launch my second product in a different niche, or should I stick with the same niche for my first product? Well, it depends. I mean, there's nothing to say that one is right or one is wrong. Now, what makes it easier when you're doing like the same niche? That means you can probably keep the same brand name if it's very, if you have like organic naturals because your first product was some organic bar, right? And then now your next product is a bicycle. Well, that might seem weird to you. You're going to have to do another brand registry and everything because you might not want to launch a bicycle under Organic Naturals brand, right? So, that's one advantage of doing it under the same brand, same niche. The other advantage is retargeting your existing customer base. It makes your launch process that much easier. All right. So, if you have a rabid fan base, maybe you have a Facebook group already for your brand, or you've built your own list, right? If you have a big list for your organic protein bar, and you're not going to be able to target them for your new bicycle because it's not compatible, but like your first product is organic protein bar, and now you're coming out with organic protein powder, well, shoot, you retarget all your existing customers who have already bought from you at full price and say, hey guys, you like my bar, I'm launching a new protein powder now. And so that's also what makes it easier to launch into in the same general niche, and your sales will feed off of each other. But again, that's not to say that you can't launch a bicycle if you had a protein bar. You can totally still do it. You ready yet?
Yeah, I could start with here, because if I try to explain it all, it'll get too complex.
All right.
Now let's see. But you got it. The feedback here. Okay.
It looks upside down right here, but when it comes
okay,
when it's presented the right way, as you can see.
Okay.
Right here. Yeah.
So why is this important? When you're going to purchase, you have this right here, which is your initial purchasing price. However many units you need to buy. I won't even get into the lead time part of this because it's two parts. So you have your initial purchase price. So ROI is extremely important, because when you're going to reorder, if you have a 300% ROI versus an 85%, you're now able to, one, you get your money back so you can pay to reorder. And then now you've got enough to launch 3 other products in general. This is actually what I had done. And this is how I grew exponentially from $7,500 into $6 million in sales in 6 months. I couldn't have done this unless I was extremely focused on the ROI, because it's just a function of, I won't get into all the math. You want a higher ROI. That's the takeaway. Okay. And you want a smaller lead time. So you need an initial purchasing price. And basically you're trying to say, okay, well, I just want to stay in stock. So if you have a lead time that is going to be 3 months, okay, 60 days from your manufacturer and 30 days shipping, you now have to buy 3 months of inventory or something like that. Now, what if it was only 2 weeks? You would only need to buy about 2 weeks. If your lead time total was 2 weeks in theory, now you only need to buy 2 weeks of inventory. So instead of needing this much money to start, then you only need 1/6. So you would only need this much money. All right. So what a lot of people run into issues with is they go for the big home run product. Okay. They think they're going to crush it. And they'll have to have this giant wad of cash. And then it's a really long lead time. And then the ROI, they only have an 85% ROI. So they're not even able to really fund this product. And especially if it takes off and then seasonal, you'll be stuck in cash flow problems for eternity if you're not choosing high ROI products. So the big takeaway here, I explain it more, and it's I get the point across a lot better there. But 2 things: the lower the lead time, the better, and the higher the ROI, the better.
All right, and so talk a little bit about the lower lead time, and then also how getting made in USA when possible really helps with that.
Yeah, so I was actually able to just overnight my stuff. That was nice.
So then, but then about how it helps you to scale faster though. Well, how did that help you? I mean, it's obvious, to us, but some people might not be understanding the correlation there.
Okay. This all assumes that you don't have an unlimited budget. I mean, if you have $5 million in the bank, this is not important to you. If you just have a bunch of free cash, not important. But the biggest problem among a lot of Amazon sellers that start selling and it works is, I don't have enough cash flow. I've never had cash flow issues. Because I know these mathematical principles. If by bringing it in the USA, getting it made really fast and being able to overnight it, I don't have to buy as much. So that initial investment, instead of costing, basically I just showed you where it was 6 times less. So instead of investing $6,000 in inventory, you only need to invest $1,000 in inventory. So that means you can launch 6 times as many products in theory, that comparatively to the other. And here's the thing. not every product's going to work. There's always a risk for failure. So how do you minimize the risk and maximize the upside? You maximize the upside by the higher ROI and the lower lead time, because that means you're putting in less cash and it could pan out a lot better. So if you, instead of taking one big risk here, you took that was going to be slow and kind of monstrous as time goes on. If you take a lot of small risks that are fast, boom, 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 they might grow into trees just as tall, or maybe not as tall, but you'll just kind of build a bunch of things like this, and you'll get to harvest that and then keep expanding. Just
yeah. So guys, I mean, this is something important. I mean, we went over this kind of quickly.
I took an entire day making a video on this concept. So that is,
it's important though, and that's why I really wanted you guys to hear it, because I think this is not paying attention to the ROI is something that really makes it very difficult for a lot of sellers to scale their business, and they're like, man, I'm growing so slow. And usually I ask them, well, what's your ROI? They don't know what, they don't even know. And then when we actually do get to it, it's like, there's your answer, right there about why you're growing so slow and you're not able to launch new products, et cetera, et cetera.
You can actually make more money by selling less and just increasing your price. And then, so if you know you can add more products, okay, and I just don't have the cash, you could go and increase your prices, and then now you'll be selling less, but you'll be making more per item. But that means you're also floating less inventory costs yourself. And that's one really quick way to just increase your sales or increase your profitability. Some market, it matters how competitive the market is though. If it's cutthroat and decreasing your sales a little bit is going to wipe you out, not a good choice. But
absolutely. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Brock. And now we got some more questions here. Want to knock out. We only got a couple more minutes. Ryan says, do you guys plan on adding a filter for excluding negative seller feedback and return product customers for the feedback tool? Hey, Ryan, the filters that we plan to add is basically whatever you guys tell us that you guys would like to see. So please, if that's something that you're requesting, make sure to send that to support@helium10.com, and we'll get that on our list of suggestions. We got some more questions here. Gretchen says, in Cerebro, what does it mean when a 0 comes up under the sponsored async column? That means basically that at the times, in the last month or two that we've been checking, we did not, or the time that we detected that keyword, we did not see any sponsored ads. Does that mean that there's no sponsored ads today? It could, or it could mean that maybe there are some today. But at the time that we checked it, it had no sponsored ads that we detected. Let's see. Will there be a tool that will show PPC campaign cost per keyword? No, I don't think there will be, because that is very subjective. Everybody has different PPC cost per account, per keyword, depending on you can have a keyword, right? And the PPC cost for solar, if the keyword is solar eclipse glasses, the PPC cost for a solar eclipse glasses as opposed to a phone case or something, it's not going to be the same. Brock's account is going to be different with all of his history compared to my account. So probably, unless something changes as far as that goes, I don't think that's something Helium 10 will ever add, because it could be theoretically misleading. Somebody will put a number out there. Well, where's that number come from? Maybe it's on my account or something, but that doesn't mean it's on your account.
Yeah. So I think this is a big big thing people don't understand. The PPC cost, to say that there is a cost per click for a keyword, you can't. It's impossible. That is, wait, I can't think of a good analogy. That one blew. But if I'm bidding with solar eclipse glasses, okay, on the keyword solar eclipse glasses, it's in my title. They are solar eclipse glasses. I've converted on that keyword before. And somebody's selling an old green pair of pants. They can't, to say that we would pay the same per click is not, because Amazon, what are they optimizing everything for? This is what people got to think about. They're optimizing for the optimal customer experience. If they show that green pair of pants, it's not going to be a good customer experience. I mean, they could fool it in, but if it never converts, or it converts every once in a while, because that random person that wanted that green pair of pants. Anyways, they are going to charge you more the worse you are for that keyword. So you can't, and even between separate listings that are both selling through that keyword, it's not like you're paying the exact cost per click is your competitor. So Bradley was saying that it's different on each account, but like literally no two items will pay the same price for the same keyword, because that there's several parts to a formula for calculating PPC, and you can't, to say a blanket statement is incorrect.
Yeah. So it's, again, like with many things that people ask for, I say the first thing you should ask yourself is why. So like, what are you trying to find out? You know, what's your goal? And then usually once you get to the why, we can probably find a better way to help you out. Because a lot of times people are just like, hey, I just want a button I can push to do this. Or hey, the biggest thing that was last year, I think most people now, we've been able to re-educate people, was, hey, how do I find what's in the back end of my competitors' listings? And I say, first of all, that doesn't matter, but why do you want to ask that? Well, you know, maybe they have some cool words that they're using to get sales. I'm like, okay. So it doesn't matter where it is in their listing. You just want to know what those keywords are that might be driving them sales. Like, are they on a keyword? Are they page 1, position 3 for a keyword that gets 5,000 searches? It doesn't matter where they are, where those words are in the listing. It's getting them sales. So yeah, Cerebro can do that. So guys, sometimes when you have these questions, you know, what Brock said was absolutely correct, and what I was saying, but I would be more interested into why you're looking for that. You know, like, you know, maybe like, hey, I want to find keywords that maybe I can make sales for, that I don't have to pay too much. You know, I don't know what your reason might be, but then once we get to that level, then we can probably be able to, you know, help you out a little bit more with how you can get there. We only have a couple more questions we can do, and then I want to talk about your courses that are upcoming. Let's see. Brock and Bradley show. I have a product with 14 variations. The only variance is color. I've never considered separating these into multiple parents. I think you mean separate listings you're talking about. Ideas or suggestions. Now, if it was just color, though, that's a difference. Then usually you do want to keep those together, right?
Well, yes, but I did. I mean, mine were just different designs. For
similar to different.
Well, I had like 30 listings of different designs, and they would do it differently.
But what if you had the same, like the steampunk goggles, like that exact 100% steampunk goggles?
Okay,
the one that you showed me was gold, and then you had a red, and then you had a green one. Would you still, like me personally, honestly, I probably would have still had it split, actually, you know, even if it was just because for what you said, or during that craze, I want to get all those positions, you know, on page 1. But what if it was like an evergreen product, like like sweaters or something like that?
Well, here's an interesting thing. When you're selling a variation, they didn't click for that other variation. They clicked for the main product. They're wanting to buy that one or check it out. So, you know, maybe there's some times where you can upsell them, but the question now is, does having all those different colors as an option, what does that actually do to increase your conversion and make them buy when they weren't going to? The more color variations there are, conversions go down over time. Just that's the way that things, because it's more options. Like, I don't know, and then they just, I don't know. That's a difficult one, and it's subjective, because there are times where it will make sense to keep them together, and there's times where there's not.
All right. Here's one from MG. So if I have the same item and I sell one as a 10-pack and one as a 1-pack, what about that one? Should I link them as a variation? So maybe it sounds like he or she has them separated now, but that's almost the same thing. I mean, these are all kind of basically the same question, I think.
Yeah. So you need to look at your market. Are you on? Okay. Now let's say somebody is looking for a 10-pack of what are we going to say, door stoppers. Okay, let's use door stoppers. If you have a 1 and a 10-pack, putting them together, now you get the boosted reviews, and people who are looking for bulk door stoppers are probably looking up certain keywords that are very different, and you'll actually rank for those bulk keywords on the right one, and now you have all these extra reviews. So that's the extra benefit of having them together. But if they're competing on the exact same keyword, then that's where you want to have, if they're both have good sales potential, you would want them separated, so you get the most real estate on that. But you can have two variations together where they're never competing on the same keywords, really. There's different people typing in the different things, and then you get that added benefit.
All right. Thank you for that question, M, I believe that was. Jim says, can you talk about how accurate your sales data is in the X-ray tool? It's, they're estimates. So if you're asking, do we pull this information from people's Seller Central accounts and have oh yeah, this is exactly how much is sold? No, we don't do that. But in my use, it's always been accurate for what I'm looking for. Now, where it might be 100% off is if like it's a very low selling item, like something that's selling 2, and then maybe I'll check it and it's really selling 4. Well, yeah, technically that's 100% off, but why are you searching for products that sell 1 a day or 2 a day or something? But for the ones that are selling like 15, 20, 30 a day, which is what 98% of you guys are looking at, and higher, of course, 100 a day, I found it to be very very close to what it is. You guys just saw I did a webinar on listing optimization last week. I had a live version where somebody gave me access to their Amazon account for something. I think it was I forgot what the keyword was. Watch that replay. Listing. I don't know what the link is. Maybe if somebody's watching, Brian or somebody can put the link here to the replay on that. But basically, it had said 471 or something like that in X-ray. And when I went into their account for sales the last 30 days, it was like 485 or something like that. It was really close. Now, is that going to happen every single time? No, I've had it, but like I would say within 10 to 15%, usually we keep it. Would you say that's kind of like, have you ever tested it on your own stuff back in the day? Like how off it was or on?
Sorry, I was distracted. I was thinking about Slushy.
Thinking about Slushy. We're going to go. Yeah, we're going to go.
Sorry.
Hey, make sure to follow me on follow Helium 10 on Instagram, Helium 10 software. I believe you can, or just search for Helium 10.
Yeah.
Follow Brock Johnson.
How do you post the product that we're looking at?
Yeah, we can. We'll post it.
Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Follow Brock Johnson.
Kind of a cool project.
What's your Instagram?
Official Brock Johnson.
Official Brock Johnson. I'm Crazy Sock TV. That's from my Zumba days. But we're gonna have some fun in Vegas tonight. With one of my friends who's a DJ. So that was what Brock was zoning out about right now. But
yeah, sorry about that.
We might do a collab. Anyways, all right. I forgot what we were talking about, so I'm just going to go to the next question. Let's see. Do keywords count in EBC? Excellent question, M. Your description in EBC is not indexed. No, not in Amazon, but it is in Google. All right, which is weird. I didn't know that until maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think Kevin King.
I could see that because they do Google does on page, and it crawls the whole thing.
Yeah, so it makes sense, but I was just shocked. I didn't know that, and I tested it. Sure enough, I was like, here. I took something that was in EBC on a product and searched for it on Amazon. No, it didn't come up, but on Google, I copied this like whole paragraph. That listing came right up. So keep that in mind. Ooh, I was able to teach Brock something. Look out. All right, guys, that's about all the time we have for the questions today. I think we got pretty much all of them. But Brock, tell us what you have in store coming up. You just launched on Udemy, and you also have your Amazon course coming out as well, right?
Yes. So we got
it's a real high price point, though.
Yeah, $1. So got the last Amazon course. I think we have over 34 hours in there now, and there's wonderful interviews with Bradley and Manny and lots of other cool people. And it's kind of like the encyclopedia of Amazon. And we're, that's going to be, so we've got it currently. You could go to my YouTube or whatnot. You could check it out. And yeah, we're going to be actually making our own platform, which we're going to be releasing soon for the course to make it even better.
Yep, absolutely. And guys, check it out. It's $1. So I think you can afford it. Actually, Udemy, it's a big price. It's $10 on there.
If you want a free, if you want, go. We'll probably just give a coupon for Udemy for free.
Yeah, but
they run ads for the course. So once it starts ranking, then they start running ads to get it to people. So, but if you're my follower, I'll just give it to you for free.
There you go. Look at that. For free. Free, big, intensive course. It's a real great course. And there's going to be like 15, 20 videos that we filmed at 3 in the morning in Minnesota
Those are live right now, actually.
Live right now.
They can go see it right now. Yeah.
Cool.
I think 70% of them are.
Okay.
The rest of the ones we're just finishing up.
Awesome.
Those are...
And we're going to film more today. That's going to go into, we're going to do one about the new keyword tracker for the course. If any of you are not Helium 10 members, use the code AMA50, AMA50, no spaces. I think that code works. AMA50, you'll get 50% off the first month, or Bradley 50. I don't get commission or a percent or anything, but I believe I had a code that's Bradley 50 if the AMA 50 doesn't work. But either of those will work for you guys, and give us a try. Try out the new keyword tracker. I want everybody using the keyword tracker, please. Today, check out your items if you're ready. If you are already tracking keywords, all right, go in there, find your top competitors, and remember, don't just pick random people who are selling the best on page 1 of your keywords. No, all right. Not everybody is your competitor. Like, technically speaking, I would imagine in solar eclipse glasses, there's like the cardboard, little tiny thin, kind, and then there's like serious, ones. And if somebody, one thing we're going to talk about on the podcast is about the buyer's image in their head, which is what you use, matching what they're looking for on Amazon. And if somebody had an image in their head of like, hey, I need steampunk glasses that are PVC, not just like the little cardboard one like you get in a movie theater. Well, that cardboard one, if they're on page 1, position 2, 3, 4, it's like they don't even exist. Like, they don't even consider that doesn't match the image in their head. Technically, you're page 1, position 1 in their mind, because if you're at position 5 and you're the first one that comes up that matches that image, well, that's what that's your page 1, position 1. So you want to find competitors that are really like your product. Those are the guys you're competing with. So that's the kind of products I want you guys thinking about and putting into keyword tracker. Don't just pick the top ones on certain pages. All right. Make sure to have that mentality. And we'll talk more about that in the podcast. But
yeah, and well, I'll talk a little bit about it right now.
Sure.
That's what we were just to make it full circle. What we were talking about earlier is when somebody asked how many how many products showed up for the keyword, and we said something else about it earlier too, or what I did with the Eclipse. It was, okay, what are the images in their head? So when you know the customers, you can kind of build out those images in their head. And then you'll realize that you're not actually competing against anybody if you do it right. You're just a little bit further down the page and you're the only option. You're not actually a competitor. So that's kind of the methodology and what you're kind of
absolutely
talking about there. Or you'll have just a couple.
All right, guys. Keep following us on Helium 10. Actually, on Helium 10 Instagram, we posted some videos already. There's some funny videos coming out with Manny. We can't say what it is, but we heard that story about what happened here after hours a couple nights ago. So you might see that.
Oh, I have to ask Manny a question today. So before we leave, what should I ask Manny? I got to ask him one question.
Yeah,
and it can't be how cool is that?
Can't be how cool is that. So they're on the Helium 10. The reason why he mentioned it, on the Helium 10 Instagram story right now, they have a question saying, hey, if you can ask Manny one question, what would it be? So that's where you can probably go to their Instagram and hit, what is it, chat or comment or something like that, and then reply there with what question you want to ask Manny, and maybe Brock will ask it.
If you're feeling risky, throw an emoji in it too.
Throw an emoji. Let's do it. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Serious Sellers Podcast with Brock coming out in a couple of weeks. We're going to record that in a little bit. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Right now, real quick, before you go leave, on the bottom of the YouTube video, there's a thumbs up. All right. I want everybody to click that thumbs up right now. We're at 26. I want everybody clicking up that thumbs up before we leave. And with that, have a great rest of, what did I say? Thursday. Oh, it's Thursday already. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Have a great rest of Thursday. Have a great weekend. Brock and my weekend starts tonight. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.